Once, there was a...
No, we don't care about that. No, we don't care about that. We got Lenny, Lynette is there, Yelan. I want Yelan, but we gotta see. What is this? What is all this?
Let the magic begin!
Got Lynette here.
Time for afternoon tea.
And we get Lynette instantly. Let's go.
Let the magic begin!
Pretty cool fit. Why is the character so close up?
And voila! A round of applause. Now disappear.
Okay, he's alright. I don't know the best. I don't know the best way to play him anymore.
I'm going in!
Bennett, Dangling, some of this.
And voila! Here comes the finale. Step right up. Let's get this show on the road.
I guess. I'm not seeing what the purpose of him would be. Of course, I have Yelan. I'll try her out. Get some primos.
Game's up. Fun's over.
What's the hurry? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Get them!
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
This moment will be frozen in time. Dodge this!
Eat this!
Quietly now.
And that's so cool, bro. Anyway.
No, my sword! Out of the frying pan!
Tag took one.
Be amazed! Step on up! Midnight Phantasmagoria! You're toast!
weave you a verse.
Let the magic begin! Over here!
Then we have his. I'm so behind on story. Character story. What is this? New boss. This is an animal cryo boss. Alright, how do I get to where I'm going? What? Oh my god, what's quest location currently involved in the quest Shade Upon Red Silk? Where's that? Please complete first. Dia is busy completing the quest Shade Upon Red Silk. Dia. Shade Upon. Oh no, Dia, no. 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 There's always something.
Hey, Dia, you're back. Are these two friends of yours? Likewise. Anyway, since we've got newcomers, let me fill you in on what Dakan al-Ahmar has been up to lately. They've become extremely aggressive. Apparently, even their own now have become acceptable targets. They even attack other relics brigades, just the same as any other mercenary brigade.
Even the most ferocious beasts still protect their own. But it sounds like they've thrown that straight to the wind.
That's right. Once they've collected enough loot off the other mercenaries, they sell it off to a different brigade, or turn to merchants on the black market. A portion of their profits is immediately exchanged for more food and weaponry to be used in their next violent operation.
That's terrible!
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder why they're so desperate for Mora. A few days ago, Isham and I trailed them for a while, and even disguised ourselves as merchants to conduct trade with them. We were able to learn a few things from the exchange. Rather than saying they're out to plunder and hoard Mora, it'd probably be more accurate to say that they're experiencing an internal power struggle.
Wait, a power struggle?
You heard me right. The vast majority of their victims are mercenaries from the other brigades of Deshret's relics. If their only goal is Mora, they could have gone after anybody. The targeted nature of their attacks points to a power struggle between the different brigades within the relics. That's the only plausible explanation we have. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find out anything more specific. It seems they're also trying to keep things under wraps. Oh, one last thing we discovered was that over the past few years, as Dakan al-Ahmar became more and more active, Deshret's relics as a whole became a lot weaker.
It sounds mighty strange to me too. Harun, you can leave the rest of the investigation to us. Gotta say though, I didn't expect you to go on a whole undercover mission during the few days I was gone. Sounds like you were really putting your necks on the line, no?
Nah, it was nothing. We're just as concerned about the situation as you are. The Khan al-Ahmar is your father's crew after all.
What he said. Besides, Dia, haven't you done more dangerous things than all of us combined? What we did is nothing compared.
Yeah. And while they went to talk with Dakan al-Ahmar, I took a look at the last camp they attacked. Any survivors of the attack were already long gone. There was nothing of value left in the camp.
Ah, Hisham and Khalaf. You're here too.
We rushed over as soon as we saw you come into Caravan Ribat. Although this new friend of yours looks a little green behind the ears, I'm sensing a special vibe from her. Now that we know you'll have a capable partner with you, we can all—
Hey, what about Paimon? Feel anything
Oh, you're also planning to tag along with them?
Of course! Paimon is the traveler's most important guide. Wherever she goes, Paimon will follow.
Oh. In that case, then you'd better take care of her too, Dia.
Don't underestimate—
Don't worry about her. She may look tiny and helpless, but she's been through just as many battles as the traveler here. Even if she had only survived on sheer luck, then that alone would still make her quite formidable.
I had no idea. I guess I shouldn't judge by appearances.
Oh, one other thing, Dia. When you're free, why don't you update the deputy about your upcoming schedule? We held another recruitment event a few days ago, but everyone only came to see the Flame Main. You weren't around at the time, so people were pretty disappointed to only find our crew of rough, unkempt guys. The deputy put a lot of effort into the event, but it was basically for nothing. Only a few people chose to stay, and that really got to him.
Sorry to hear that. I'll be sure to bring him some great liquor next time.
Gotta admit, I can understand their disappointment, though. You're our brigade's main selling point, after all. Now, if only the deputy could figure out a way to bring a few more smoking hot members into our ranks.
Keep dreaming. Remember the last time I invited a couple gals into the brigade? You all just froze up with your mouths gaping like a bunch of scarecrows. The awkward silence and weird expressions left quite the impression on them. They were originally interested in joining us, but after that, they both told me they were too uncomfortable to stick around.
Hey, didn't we agree to never bring that up again?
Huh? Wait, are you serious? Why have I never heard about this?
I don't think you were part of the brigade yet.
Are you kidding me? I missed a once-in-a-lifetime moment like that, and you weren't even gonna tell me?
All right. We can tell you about it later. Now's not...
Hey, don't you try to change the subject. You and Hisham get your butts over here and tell me everything right now.
Are they?
There aren't many rules or graces when it comes to mercenaries. We're used to just speaking our minds. If someone starts getting under your skin, you just yell right back at them. And if that doesn't put an end to it, then you just challenge them to a fight. But we also don't tend to take many things too seriously. Being direct and getting it all out of your system as soon as things come up is better than keeping everything bottled up, never talking about it.
Fat.
That's also why I never spare their feelings when I talk to them. If I want to laugh, I'll laugh. If I'm angry, then I'll unload on them. It's hard to stop once you get used to it. Though, I can never do that when I'm with the Homayanis. Hey, knuckleheads! Can you at least tell me the rest of the intel before you go back to your bickering?
Yeah, you hear her, Holloff? Told you we gotta focus on the investigation first. I drew up a map. Right here's the spot. There you'll find the merchant caravan responsible for getting rid of Dakan al-Akhmar's looted goods. All you gotta do is wait and ambush them in the evening. They'll have no idea what hit them.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Be sure to pass my regards to everyone else in the brigade as well.
Will do. You stay safe, Dia.
This should be the place. Let's find a spot to hide and bide our time. It's gonna come down to a fight one way or another, so let's all be careful.
No need to worry. She knows her way around a fight.
I'm not worried about that. What I meant is that we probably shouldn't go too hard on the enemy. After all, we still need to get information out of them. Here they come. Let's not give them a...
That's close enough. Feeling lucky today?
Busted. Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
Gather. Where do you think you're going? I'll use you on this one. You're...
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right, time for a little talk.
You know the code of being a mercenary just like everyone else. The first rule is to never divulge key information about our employer. What makes you think I'd talk?
That might have worked on an amateur, but I know you're just looking to protect your reputation. Think about it, though. What's your reputation worth if you won't have the other tools you need to succeed in this line of work? Tools like, I don't know, your limbs, or you've got 5 seconds. You might—
Whoa!
I'm not joking around. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds!
I'll save you the trouble.
Huh? Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue. Quick, search the area for any first aid supplies. I definitely didn't expect him to go that far. Thankfully, the wound wasn't too deep, and he just passed out from the pain.
But why would he be so extreme?
I just wanted to test his mettle. You can get a lot of mercenaries to talk just by threatening them. I didn't expect him to be willing to go through so much pain just to deny us some intel.
Well, he's out cold for now. We could wait for him to wake up, but maybe it's not a good idea to interrogate him any further.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be a waste of time to interrogate him again after that. He might just hurt himself again if we start asking. There are lots of goods around here. Let's search the area. Maybe we'll be able to find something. I'm really sorry.
We found a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it. Maybe it's...
Let me take a look. If this really is a merchant caravan, they should have a record of their transactions. Yep. I see an entry for Dakhan al-Akmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti. All familiar names. Dakhan al-Akmar has been trading for a hefty supply of food, weapons, and medicine. It seems that in the past, they used to receive some canned knowledge as well. This caravan is just one link in their logistics chain. Once in the rainforest, the caravan will exchange the looted goods for Mora, and the funds will then be passed to a specific person. That person will then pack the caravan full of necessary goods, which will then be brought right back to Dakhan al-Akmar. Wait, why is there no Mora value recorded for the final transaction?
No value?
Yeah. Every transaction before the last one was marked with an exact amount of Mora, but the final one, where they paid for everything to be brought back to the desert, was simply marked as delivered. Perhaps. But they couldn't have known how much they would make off selling the loot. Do they not care about profit margins at all? Anyway, the next part's the records of the goods themselves. There are a lot of entries. Everything was probably sourced from the rainforest. Huh?
What's wrong?
Shahzaman Homayani?
Homayani? You mean Dunyarzad's family? Could it just be another family with the same last name?
I'd be surprised to find someone with the exact same first and last name. Shahzaman Homayani is Dunyarzad's father, and the head of the Homayani family. Just what the heck is going on here? I'm sorry, you're right. I'll consider what we found and not jump to conclusions just yet. But what this piece of paper confirms is that the Homayani family has been providing goods to Dakhan al-Akmar.
What if the Homayanis have been kept in the dark and don't know they've been trading with Dakhan al-Akmar?
That's a possibility, but if that was the case, why is this caravan specifically named Shahzaman as their person of contact? They could have just as easily bought goods such as food and medicine directly from Caravan Ribat or Port Ormos. Yeah, funding violence and looting. The brigade gets the goods, and he is paid the proceeds from the sale of the loot.
But why would he do something like this? It's not like the Homayanis are in need of money.
I honestly have no idea. I've been to their estate many times, and I've never noticed anything suspicious. The only potentially large expenditure I could think of would be the treatment costs for Dunyarzad's Elazar. Maybe they borrowed a lot of Mora in the past? But that's still just a speculation. I don't think the Master would stoop so low to make Mora. You're probably right. I know my lady's personality, and she wouldn't deliberately keep something like this from—
But what should we do now? All we found is just another mystery.
If you ask me, we already have no choice but to confront her about this. I'm not worried. It's too early to make a verdict yet. I still have faith in the Homayanis. Let's go find my lady again. We'll tell her everything and see if she's willing to lend us her support. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the mystery of this paper, but also follow the trail of breadcrumbs to the people responsible at Dakan al-Akmar.
Dia, are you sure this is the best decision? What if instead of getting the help we need, we just end up revealing everything we've discovered to the enemy?
I've considered that possibility, but even still, I want to tell her what we found. I think I owe her that much. True friendship is built on trust. She showed genuine concern for me when we first brought up the topic. I can't repay her kindness with doubt and suspicion. That's not how I deal with people.
You're right. Paimon wants to trust Dunyarzad too.
Yeah. Let's pay another visit to Sumeru City. We're back, my lady.
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than I expected. You mustn't have run into any trouble then. Well, how did it go? What did you come up with?
Actually, we're still investigating. It's just that we've discovered something strange.
I see. The clues you found have led you back here, in the city?
Something like that, yeah.
You all look a little dispirited. Whatever you found must not have been very encouraging after all. Why don't you discuss it with me? Maybe I'll be able to say something to cheer you up?
It's okay, my lady. It's not so much about me being upset with my father or anything like that. How should I put this?
So something is wrong. Even the Traveler and Paimon have been uncharacteristically quiet. On any other day, Paimon would have already waved to me with a smile and shouted, "Dunyarzad, we're back!" So tell me, what happened?
Well?
My lady, please prepare yourself for what we're going to tell you next. It concerns the Master.
The Master? You mean... Okay, I understand. Don't worry about me. I'll listen as attentively as I can. My father has been supplying goods to Dakan al-Akmar?
Yeah, it makes as little sense to us as it does to you. I've never doubted the Master's integrity, so I'm having a real hard time rationalizing how he could ever support an infamous brigade like them. Maybe he's not actually aware of the full story and just stumbled into the deal by accident.
I can't help but agree with the Traveler.
Huh? You mean you feel the same way, Dunyarzad?
Thank you for sharing all this information with me. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubts that I've been harboring for quite a while. In the past, I thought that my father hired a bodyguard for me so that I wouldn't run away and get lost. However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30. Why did my father go out of his way to hire Dia?
About that. Well, the Homayanis really needed bodyguards, so they reached out to the Blazing Beasts. Later, the Master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen, and that I should stick around to become one of his bodyguards. He offered me a pile of Mora, so I just signed on.
Well, but that didn't really answer my question. Just think about it. Why did my father specifically reach out to the Blazing Beasts?
Maybe the Corps of 30 just didn't have anyone available, or maybe someone recommended us. I've never given it too much thought. I think I get what you're saying. You think none of this was a coincidence.
Precisely. At first glance, nothing seemed strange or out of place. But there are many parts of the story that don't actually make any sense. If my father had always been in contact with Dakan al-Akmar, then it would make sense for him to bring Dia into our house.
You mean the goal all along was to get Dia to be your bodyguard?
No, that's too much of a stretch. I cut all ties with my father a long time ago. He has no control over my life anymore.
But that still doesn't rule out the possibility that your father has still been trying to influence your life without you knowing.
So, the Master was not likely an innocent victim in all of this?
Sorry we put all this on you so suddenly, Dunyarzad.
It's okay, Paimon. I should actually be thanking you. Regardless of his reasons, if my father has truly been funding a violent group of mercenaries, then it's my duty to bring him back to reason.
But is that really the right thing to do? My father has committed many atrocities and deserves all the punishment that he has coming to him. I have zero sympathy for him. You may call me an ungrateful child, but my feelings will remain the same. However, the Homiyani family has treated me with nothing but generosity and kindness. If we decide to investigate this further, we could end up implicating the entire Homiyani family. I would be biting the hand that's fed me over all these years.
Tia.
It's alright.
Are there map UI changes?
If anyone were to ask, you could always just say that I'm the one who instructed you to get to the bottom of this.
I haven't checked.
You don't have to do that, my lady. I'm not conflicted because I'm afraid of taking responsibility.
Fontaine.
Besides, you're the one we should all be worried about right now.
I'm about to check right now.
Hey, it's
After
still too
this
early to give up
conversation.
hope.
I think they added
again?
different levels to the maps.
Right, yeah, trust! You said that yourself, Dia. Besides, there's no point on getting all riled up before we've confirmed all the facts.
Thank you, everyone. That
And
makes
I
a
know
lot
the
of sense.
character part
I
of the screen
guess I should
changed.
always remember the trust that I've placed in people. In which case, my lady, could you ask the Master to come out and have a chat with us?
Sure thing. I also hope he'll be able to give us a logical explanation. Let's meet at the usual place then.
Are you also planning on playing the update?
Oh, right.
Or is it updating right now for you? Alright, let me see. Here's the map. How do we see? I'm not even sure, to be honest. I haven't seen anything. Search for players. Domains. Oh yeah, there we go. Here it is. So you can move the right stick if you're on PlayStation. You'll sometimes encounter teleport waypoint, domain entrances, map pins, bearing such sub-icons. These symbols indicate that destination is in a multi-layer area. That makes sense. And then we could switch between... Yeah, I get it. So yeah, you could switch between, if you look at the right of the screen, use the right stick to switch between different layers. This is not too bad, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I think you gotta, like, hover close by the area that has something like that, yeah.
Luck can swing the result of a single game, but it's bound to run out sooner.
Thank you for coming, sir. This is the Traveler, and next to her is her travel companion, Paimon.
Ah, yes. My daughter has mentioned them from time to time. It's a privilege to finally meet them in person. But we may skip all the pleasantries for now. What is the important matter you wish to discuss with me today?
Well, we wanted to bring this transaction record to your attention. There's something on this record that we're all pretty curious about.
So, that's what you found? Huh. Seems like I can't keep everything from you much longer.
If you wouldn't mind, we'd like an explanation.
Well, it's a long and difficult story. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. What I do know, though, Dia, is that the truth will bring you no solace. If anything, it will likely cause you a great amount of anguish.
Wait, me?
Yes. I understand perfectly why you came to see me. And I am touched by your collective commitment to do the right thing. But knowledge always comes at a price. And sometimes, as they say, ignorance is bliss. Your father, Kusela, and I both believed that. Of course, you have the right to seek and learn the truth, but I must warn you. The facts of this matter may reduce everything you've built for yourself into sand, blowing in the wind. If you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt efforts will also fade into the wind like a fleeting mirage.
His heartfelt efforts? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not sure I follow. I've made it this far in life without a single drop of my father's support. I have my own ideals and ways of looking at the world, as well as people and causes that I've chosen to cherish and fight for. None of these things have anything to do with him. I came here today to support you as the head of the Homiyani family. No warning will change my stance on that.
I understand. Then let me tell you a little story. Our family once needed to take a trip to the desert when Dunyarzad was just a baby. Along the way, we were attacked by bandits. They had superior numbers and quickly overpowered our bodyguards. When all seemed lost, a group of passerby Eremites lent us their support. Those Eremites were Kusela's brigade, Dekan al-Ahmar. Kusela's men told me that the attackers were Eremite mercenaries, just like themselves. I was shocked. Why would Dekan al-Ahmar go so far to save us and not spare the fellow Eremites? Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with baby Dunyarzad. She was startled by his unfamiliar face and nearly started crying.
Really? I never knew.
He said that he had no particular reason to help us. He just took pity on us because he had a daughter about the same age. We started talking about our children, and I sensed that he was a devoted father. To repay his kindness, I hired his brigade to help out at our estate for a time, and offered everyone generous remuneration.
So, that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. I almost didn't recognize him the next time he came knocking on my door. The man I knew to be strong and healthy had been reduced to a shell of himself. He couldn't even walk anymore without his cane.
So, what happened to him? He was perfectly fine when I left the brigade.
I'm not too sure myself. The only thing that didn't change was his cheery disposition. He said there was absolutely nothing to worry about and that he had gotten into a fight. That was all. He then suddenly asked me if Dunyarzad, now that she had grown, would need a bodyguard of her own. At the time, Dunyarzad was going through a particularly severe bout of her Elazar. There was no need for her to have a bodyguard when she could barely leave the house. But he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, it never hurts to be safe. How do you know a bodyguard won't come in handy one day? I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the Blazing Beasts. and in particular, a mercenary named Dia.
So he was the one who recommended Dia to you.
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud, but it was clear that he saw Deshret's relics as an evil group who would eventually corrupt every member in their ranks. He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the vicious world of mercenary life. If Dia could stay in my house and keep working as a bodyguard, then gradually her affinity for the desert would decrease, and she'd be able to leave her previous life behind.
And that's why you offered her such generous compensation?
Yes, but not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for that favor, I also began to see Dia as my own daughter. And that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you asked for permission to leave. I was willing to spend however much it took. Kusela saved my daughter and me all those years ago in the desert. I could never refuse him entrusting his daughter to me.
He was always like that, acting like he's oh so smart and self-righteous.
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's fees. I refused to take any mora from him, but he'd always send me funds anyway. Eventually, I just accepted them as a token of his gratitude. And that went on for a while until I received another letter from him a few years ago. The letter contained a request to help him buy food, weapons, medicine, and even explosive materials.
Wait! Isn't that around the time that Dakan al-Ahmar started becoming more aggressive?
That's right. When I started to hear some nasty rumors, I became wary. I wanted to meet him face to face to discuss things. But by then, he was no longer receptive to my requests to talk. If I had to guess, it's probably because he doesn't want to put Dia at risk. That thought occurred to me as well. I figured that he probably came to me for help because he had nobody else to turn to. After some deliberation, I decided to send him some food and medicine. I turned down all his requests for explosives and weaponry. I am aware that even such a reduced gesture of support could lead to others coming to harm, but I could not simply reject his plea for help. In the end, it probably was the wrong decision. I plugged my ears to the rumors and just chose a solution that made me feel least guilty about myself.
If you can, please tell me where he is now. None of the things he's doing right now make any sense if he's just trying to keep me from getting tangled up in his world. If all he wants to do is steer clear of me, then maybe he shouldn't have brought me into this world in the first place.
Oh no. Dia, please don't feel...
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around any of his actions. Another way? I don't know. I knew him, and he was nothing more than a childish brute. I can't understand what's going through his head. But I guess you do have a point. We haven't uncovered the whole truth yet. We still need to figure out his exact actions and reasoning for these last few years.
I'll do my best to help. Of course, anything between the two of you would need to be resolved between you and him alone. I don't know Kusela's exact whereabouts. Outside of supplying his brigade with some goods, I tried my best to avoid getting involved any further with him. However, there's a man on the list named Jawed. He used to be a mercenary in the desert and is now a member of the Corps of 30. He's responsible for supplying weapons and liaising with the Dakan al-Ahmar's merchant caravan. I think he should know Kusela's whereabouts. I've heard that he likes to have a few drinks alone and enjoy the cool wind at night outside the tavern. Maybe you'll be able to find him there.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Then I guess this is bye for now, unless...
I'll stay and be with my father here. To be honest, I'm still a little dazed and haven't finished processing everything quite yet. My father has indeed done something wrong, but if I think about it, I'm also not sure if there was a right way to handle this problem. I feel like our only course of action is to turn everything we know over to the Corps of 30 and let them render judgment.
Yes. I am prepared to accept whatever verdict they choose. It's time to face my mistakes.
Huh? Who are you guys?
I know what you've been up to. Smuggling weapons to violent brigades in the desert while working for the Corps? Pretty bold, if you ask me.
Shh. Keep your voice down. How do you know all that? Come with me. We should take this elsewhere. I'll be happy to talk things over once we're somewhere private. This place should do. All right. Back to my question. How did you all know about me?
Don't worry about that for now. You know what kind of punishment you'll face once we report you to the Corps, I assume.
Wait. There's no need to jump the gun. Let's talk this out. What are your terms?
So what's in it for you anyway, Mora?
Well, I was a little tight on money at the time, and Kusela took good care of me in the past. I weighed it in my mind, and I couldn't find a reason to turn the opportunity down. I wouldn't only be helping my benefactor, but I could also make some quick Mora.
Let me tell you how it is. We're investigating Dakan al-Akmar, and we're gonna put an end to their operations. If you provide some help for us, then we might just put in a good word later to reduce the terms of your punishment.
Hey, why don't we discuss this a little first? Listen, I made quite a bit of Mora from my last run. You just give me a number, and I'm sure we can...
Shut it. My patience is running out. You should know when a mercenary is after something other than money.
All right, sheesh. But you gotta promise you'll put in some nice words for me later. They're always on the move. Here's the spot they were at the last time I made my delivery to the desert. Feel free to go have a look. I'm just telling you, though, it's not on me if they're not there anymore.
Sure. And then you can forget about any nice words from us.
Hey, come on. Now you're just being unreasonable.
Really? And how do I know you're not leading us straight into a trap?
All right, I get it. Why don't you go take a look, and if they're not there anymore, I'll try to figure out something else for y'all.
Now that's more like it. Let's move. And as for you, try to stick around the city until we get back. You don't want us to call the folks from the Corps and have them drag you back to the city.
I need to do something with my resin. Yo, I want this weapon though. Either one is fine, but or do I get Yolon C1? Ooh. Should I do a 10 pull real quick? but I gotta wait because I don't know how good Lenny is. I gotta watch some. Why is this here? Oh shoot, I could do it now. Let's go! I could do it now. Finally.
Good old caravan rebot. Huh. Now let Paimon think.
Get Dia's quest out of here.
The first time we came here. Oh, Paimon remembers. Nahita's consciousness had been trapped by the doctor, but we followed the clues she left behind to help her.
I guess we may have stumbled upon this place at some point before.
So much time has already passed since then. And it seems Sumeru's changing for the better now that Nahita's in charge, right? Paimon just hopes this peace will last a long time. And then Nahita won't have any more new problems to deal with.
It's hard to say what will happen.
Guess you're right. We somehow always find ourselves right in the thick of it. Who knows what will happen next? Come to think of it, maybe it's all because of you. Maybe you're just a magnet for trouble.
I was just thinking that you might be the problem, Paimon.
Me? Before Paimon ran into you, Paimon never ran into any trouble. At most, when she was super tired, Paimon got caught in some strange whirlpool and sucked out into sea. And even then, you fished Paimon out. Anyway, for Nahita's sake, maybe we should think about heading to our next destination for now.
Let's start Fontaine.
Ah, look who it is. Running into you in a place like this? I can see you two still love wandering around.
Oh, it's Dia! Since when are we just wandering around? We're usually taking care of some serious business. Even though it may have nothing to do with our journey. But never mind that. What brings you here?
I just finished a commission in the desert for a usual client of mine. Nothing too interesting. Just escorting a shipment of goods. I'm on my way to report back. That's when I saw you two all the way over there, chatting away. What were you two talking about anyway?
Preparing to leave Sumo and head to Fontaine.
Huh? You serious? Can't say I saw that coming. But you are travelers after all. I guess you'd never stay for too long in one place. Bumping into you like this will become a rarity. I'm starting to feel sad just thinking about it. Hey, how about I gather a few mercs to escort you two? What do you say?
Thanks, but no need. Oh, Paimon had no clue you'd miss us so much. But don't worry, we'll come back to see everyone when we get a chance.
Sounds good. Is cross this stretch of desert and navigate some waterways. Knowing you two, I'm sure it won't be anything you can't handle. So, when are you leaving?
We leave as soon as we finish a few more preparations. Journey should be spontaneous.
Oh, wait a sec. Paimon just remembered there are still a few dishes in Sumeru that Paimon hasn't tried yet. Now, where's that list Paimon made?
I see. Guess you won't be needing a going-away party or anything. It's sad enough to see you go like this. Though, now that I think about it, Sumeru wouldn't be what it is today without you. Seems true heroes always prefer leaving quietly.
By the way, should we go say bye to Nahita? Oh, good point. Then there's no need to bother her in the real world.
Then, I guess this is goodbye for now, Traveler in Paimon. Whether as a client or a friend, you're always welcome to come find me.
Goodbye, Dia. Bye-bye, Sumeru.
Just like that. Like It's the walkway that took us here. Like, we skipped the whole thing. Oh, it's through here. I see. I didn't do whatever story stuff is over here. I see. Makes sense. But she said it's just over that desert. And Caravan Rebot is where again? Right here. So they were all... That's not just... Bruh, that was a week's journey. At least. And now we gotta fly over there too? I didn't do anything with that, bro. I got so many quests left to do. No way. We gotta fly. Or should I take the sailboat? Hydroculus. The first one. That's a big one. This puts Captain Beto's ships to shame. Oh, that's how the things look in Fontaine. W. At this person.
After crossing all that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port. Wow, everything looks so advanced in Fontaine. Paimon's heard that the industry here is extremely developed, and there are all kinds of unusual machines. Just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something to do. What do you think? Good idea! Nahida gave us loads of useful information. Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point.
Our journey is to find my sibling and also to find the truth.
Yeah! The more we can learn, the better. So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahida said that she has a very unique personality, whatever that means. To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly, he was a pretty decent person.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still, his story is quite the tearjerker.
Excuse me. Can I help you two? I couldn't help but notice you standing here listening.
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had something we wanted to ask, but you seem to be really busy talking about some kind of play, so we didn't want to interrupt.
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened. In fact, it's a case that was just heard a few days ago.
Really? Like, a real trial? But the way you were talking about it and the words you used just now made it sound like some kind of story.
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid enough. Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
So they see these trials as sort of the opera.
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that? Not to question Fontaine's way of doing things. It's just that putting someone on trial is usually a very serious thing.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Neuvillette, as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and injustice are a thing of the past now.
Judgment device created by the Archon, so this is the nation of
Pure
justice.
Oratrice? Is it some kind of machine, too? Oh, Paimon's curious. We should check it out if we get the chance. Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydro Archon?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon personally. In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment well in advance, and it'll depend on whether or not she has any time slots available.
Huh. Is the Hydro Archon super busy taking care of official stuff? Wait, didn't you say that she's always at the Opera House?
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment is simply because she's incredibly popular.
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little dramatic from time to time, people can't get enough of her.
Huh. First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described that way before. Wait! Paimon gets now! The Hydro Archon is kinda like a big celebrity here, right?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Perhaps you could even say our mascot.
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about. You should show some more respect.
Yes, you're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I might get arrested and find myself face to face with Monsieur Neuvillette.
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying something disrespectful about the Hydro Archon.
Alright, I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House. But who knows how long making an appointment will take? Guess we could have a look around the city in the meantime. Hey! What are you looking over there for? Huh. Maybe something's the matter. She isn't going to jump into the water, is she? Maybe we better go check on her.
fine. Thanks.
Oh, okay then. We just noticed that you seem to be worried about something.
About many things, actually. But there's nothing I can do but just keep my troubles to myself. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just atop that hill over there. See?
You're pointing at the sea. Wait, are you saying that you and your brother lived in the water?
No, people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, it's been completely submerged. He would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled with the scent of the sea. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
Sorry. Paimon doesn't really get what you mean.
Ah, I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and you are?
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with your sister. Even though we didn't really get what she was saying.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all. I'm usually the only one she ever talks to.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us! Paimon's always the one talking for some reason.
It's hardly anything left for me to say with you around, Paimon, because you're always still on.
So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Seems you were right, Paimon. We are quite similar.
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is engulfing your memories, and that it won't be long before it engulfs you too?
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time now. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about what's happening in Fontaine now. Where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't formally greeted each other yet, have we?
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, Traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon, are you?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in Fontaine when making new friends. You should remember it. It might prove useful.
Oh, all right then. Well, Paimon's just happy to have a local friend now. By the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro Archon. Would you be able to show us the way?
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the Opera House later myself. I'll gladly take you once I finish things here. Please, follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems Lady Farina has come to see you.
Already? That's not Farina. Oh, so she's in charge of the guards around Farina. Okay. Folklores.
Huh. So, she's the Hydro Archon? But how did she know we were looking for her?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration. If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu. As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation.
What?
Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and her companion, who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Her eyes are crazy.
Is she talking about us?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you nevertheless. No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured, I see clearly your sincerity. Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness my authority. Intelligent people always gather under the correct banner. I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip. Now, you may rejoice in this.
Well, finding the Archon was easy enough.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for a few minutes. But the Hydro Archon's entrance was, how should Paimon describe it? A little over the top? Miss Hydro Archon? How did you know we were coming?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck by my abilities. You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about you.
On us.
Whoa, talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony still isn't enough? What else should I say then?
Is she waiting for us to start talking?
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina here. What a surprise! Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler? How did I not notice before?
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina? Is there some kind of drama going on?
Of course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about. Lady Farina came here to personally see her. Oh, I bet this is going to be the duel of the century.
Ooh, I've got to see this. I knew Lady Farina would never disappoint.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy, and despite the noise, I've come to tolerate all their ruckus. You may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler from another land, just as you were hoping to see.
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
I've got a resume.
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that this is a duel against the divine?
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorend. I admire her bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. She is obviously a true warrior. Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled, and a mere duel will not slake their thirst for excitement.
Huh. Yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that interesting.
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor. You're getting a bit old, to tell the truth.
You see. Then, as the god of
Just
justice,
like visual
I shall face this traveler in another kind of duel. A duel in court!
Whoa, all right! Now that'll be worth seeing!
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. Such a grand opera house, it would be a pity not to use it.
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little too much time in the opera house. Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have reason to put you on trial. It's obvious, isn't it? According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month. You are clearly guilty of violating this law, no?
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong. That's Our Lady Farina. No one knows the laws of Fontaine like she does.
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait, flying object? You mean Paimon?
Precisely! Now, if you two have no objections, then in the name of the Hydro Archon, I order your arrest.
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun. But if you would allow me to interject, I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
You tell her, Linny! Finally, someone who's not crazy. How could anyone call Paimon a flying object?
Ah, great magician Linny, my beloved citizen. I'll permit you to object. But how exactly do you plan to prove your claim?
Birds fly in Fontaine, don't they?
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show. So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
He knew he was ready.
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did you do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the Traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got to be joking.
I thought it was pretty good. Nice one.
Huh. I'm not sure what to think. It seems Lady Farina's charges no longer hold water.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you here, today's performance can finally be called complete.
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice will not bring charges against an innocent person. But when there are valid grounds, I will not only judge travelers from abroad, but even the gods of other lands. I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette. That's enough for now. Toodaloo!
May the scales tip in your favor.
Just like that! She's gone! Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. He never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was really...
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually come in handy. So, now do you see what kind of god Lady Farina is?
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny. It sounded like you'll be performing at the Opera House, right?
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is my assistant. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine, the Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials are held in Fontaine?
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred. And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate. Might I invite the two of you to see my performance?
My brother's always excited to make new friends.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to the Opera House anyway.
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? Oh, you really mean it? Then I'll take you up on your offer. This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me distribute them to the people here.
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that... You asked me before about the prophecy, right? Let me start by telling you a little more about what it entails. I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with sin? What is that supposed to mean?
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as conjecture.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to ignore the prophecy completely? Why bother feeling guilty all the time?
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started rising.
Many places have already been completely submerged, and now lie beneath the sea.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility, which would end up sentencing them to death. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, we've started distributing magic pockets to them. As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity. I'm sure they will come in handy when people are moving their belongings.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It's like preparing for a rainy day! But this is more than a bit of rain.
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. But who knows? We're just tiny specks in the grand scheme of things. Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic pockets to anyone nearby. Be sure to convince them to take it, regardless of what they say.
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy. Keep it. I won't have any use for it.
What? You mean you don't believe in the prophecy?
No, I believe in the prophecy. But I also believe in another story. The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean and couldn't live apart from it. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. Thus could people set foot on land. So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all, it'll be like we're going home.
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't live underwater. They'll die. You should probably still take it.
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that being dissolved into the water doesn't necessarily mean death.
Take it easy.
So you're the blonde traveler that everyone's been talking about. My apologies for not recognizing you earlier. Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of everything. I guess it's better to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Thanks. Please, also thank the magician on my behalf when you get the chance.
Take it easy. Huh? I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a long time before the water can cover everything. Life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You should still take it. You never know when it'll come in handy.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I start moving, that means I've already given up on the life I have now. I'd really rather not.
Oh? You already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard some, interesting opinions. Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking about bringing him some more materials.
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like and we'll help. Many hands make light work.
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some Romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect Romaritime flowers.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. I've also finished collecting a few here. Maybe next time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may not have any energy left for the performance at the Opera House.
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we should get ready to head back to the court of Fontaine.
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to the Opera House? Good. Paimon wants a tour of Fontaine's largest city and try...
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her? Paimon didn't notice any...
She's obviously a thief. Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that won't discover what you're really doing. Watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should split up. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to run. All right, let's go.
One down below. There's two here? Oh no, that's the bone. The world opens itself before those who finally, W. A light? I didn't notice anything. It's normal for the statue of Seven to grow a rush of water. It certainly is the nation of Hydro. Even the statues of the seven water fountains are Feel like I poured on water. Water is speaking to me. Wow, I feel like I'm losing gills to breathe. Good for you. First try going on a pair of gills from Paimon. Seems like you're feeling pretty good. Paimon can't believe Paimon was actually worried about you for a moment there. Though after I lit up like that, the air does feel a lot more humid. Maybe it's because of all the hydro energy that was released. Paimon heard that in Fontaine, if you use elemental energy properly, you can swim underwater. Maybe you can even find sunken treasure. Paimon will leave the diving treasure to you. Paimon will stand on the shore and wait for you. It'll be lonely going underwater alone. You could try doing something for performance, Paimon. But being in the water is scary. What if Paimon accidentally gets swept in the current and gets all turned around and dizzy, and then she won't be able to fly away no matter what? Just like before Paimon met you back in Mondstadt. Then I'll just fish you out again. Really? Then maybe Paimon can try going underwater with you. You better not go back on your world. On your word, my man. Okay, mysterious power that flows out of the statue to imbue you with the blessing of the transoceanic source water. Your progress will remain unhindered so long as you're moving through the lake of Fontaine. Under the protection of the transoceanic source water, what you expend while moving in the water is not stamina, but aquatic stamina. As such, when your aquatic stamina is expended, you will not drown. Traveler in. I like Dendro Traveler. Ooh. Oh, look at your lawn. Look at Sino with that pose. I like. Look at Fischl, of course. Okay, Dendro Traveler.
Oh, is it time for me to join you?
No. I want to see how your lawn gets there.
It's time to pull the trigger.
Okay, nice. Anyway. That's amazing. Got hydro. Can't move, but... Oh wait, are we healing and stuff? You can't move though. Oh, it's taking health away from us. Oh, statue healing us. And wow, it takes health away from us. Let me see, what does this do? Unleashes a torrent that can cleanse the world. This thing is in my way. Okay, sends a torrent surge forward that will deal hydro damage to opponents it comes in contact with. Enter aim in world mode and constantly fire off dewdrops in the direction which you are aiming, dealing hydro damage to opponents they hit. When the skill ends, it will send a torrent surge forward that will deal hydro damage to opponents it comes in contact with. Suffusion. When using the whole configuration of the skill, the traveler's HP is higher than 50%. Damage dealt by the dewdrops will increase based on the traveler's match HP. Okay, so we gotta build HP on Traveler, Hydro Traveler, and the Traveler will lose a fixed amount of HP every second. So more damage, the higher HP. At certain intervals after using Torrent Surge, the skill will unleash a Spirit Breath Thorn that presses opponent's Numa aligned Hydro damage. Okay, that's that new ability. Anyway, having to level this up is gonna be terrible. All new stuff. Here we go. Okay, unleashes a slow-moving floating bubble that deals continuous hydro damage. I think that's the same thing as the After the dew drop fired in the hold mode of the Aqua Cresta Saber hits an opponent, source water droplet will be generated near to the Traveler. If the Traveler picks it up, they will restore 7% HP. One droplet can be created this every second, and each use of the Aqua Crest Saber can create 4 droplets at most. So we can restore HP 7%. And this removes how much? Lose a fixed amount. It doesn't tell us. If HP has been consumed via suffusion while using the whole mode Aqua Crest Saber, that's the skill, the turret surge at the skill's end will deal the bonus damage equal to 45%. The total HP the Traveler has consumed in the skill used via suffusion, the maximum damage bonus can be gained 5,000. This is kind of a little bit like Yelan's set. Yelan's kit. That's not too bad. Picking up source water droplet will restore. I can't read because thanks for everyone for joining. This thing is popping up on the side where I'm trying to read. If you're joining and you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000. Picking up a source water droplet will restore 2 energy to the Traveler. So that gives back energy. Movement speed of rising waters bubble will be decreased by 30%. Duration increase. Okay, nice. This increases the skill. When using Aqua Crest Saber, Aqua Crest Aegis that can absorb 10% of the Traveler's max HP, and the damage will be created and will absorb Hydro damage with 250% effectiveness. It will persist until the Traveler finishes using the skill. Once every 2 seconds after a Dewdrop hits an opponent, if the Traveler is being protected by Aqua Crest Aegis, the damage absorption of the Aegis will be restored to 10% of the Traveler's max HP. If the Traveler is not presently being protected by Aegis, one will be redeployed. Is that like a shield? Wait. Will be created. So you get like a shield with Constellation 4. And then it absorbs a lot of Hydro damage. Interesting. Once every 2 seconds, a Dewdrop hits an opponent. If the Traveler is being protected by the shield, the damage absorption of the shield will be restored to 10% of it. So more healing for the Traveler also. I don't know, this might be... Hydro Traveler might be good. I don't think it'll be as good as Dendro Traveler, but definitely better than Electro Traveler so far, from what I understand. This increases her burst skill. And what is this? Tides of Justice. When the Traveler picks up a source water droplet, they will restore HP to the nearby party member with the lowest remaining HP percentage based on 6% of something max HP. So it heals your teammates also. Said member's max HP. Once you pick up the droplet, this will restore HP to the nearby party members with the lowest remaining, only the lowest remaining HP. So I guess it'll start healing everyone once. Okay, it's not too bad. I like it. And it feels good to use the skill. I only held it down so far. Let me try to tap it once. Oh, a big, just one big ability. Alright, if I hold it down, and if I release it prematurely, okay, it still does the end. That's not too bad at all. There's a Hydroculus up there. So let's get that first. Oh, fire? I think it's up higher. I'm not even sure. Not even. Oh, it's right there.
This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait.
They stop her time to make the arrest.
Oh no!
I don't know. What does everyone in chat think if you're playing the game? Does Hydro Traveler seem better than Dendro Traveler? I think Dendro Traveler is still gonna be the top tier, the peak. Our job is to block this.
You're right. She might also be trying to lure us away. Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Lenny caught the thief.
Seems there's no reason for us to stay. Let's go find
let's go.
But I need to level her up first to be able to wait and see something. How am I going to Monday, Thursday? Domain not discovered yet. We're still level 90, right? Yeah, at least we don't have to do that.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you enough. I didn't notice a thing earlier. Anyway, I should be going now. Thanks again.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time I looked back, she was already gone.
I saw the general direction she went, but Lenny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Oh, did you get hurt, Lenny?
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact, it's feeling better already.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
You're right. Sorry, Lynette. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief! Guess things turned out all right in the end, though. Lenny's initiative paid off!
All right, let's put this little detour behind us. We should go to the court of Fontaine now.
At least I did that. I need to get some of these done.
Time to get work.
Welcome. I'm getting sick.
Oh, that's the water thing. It looks so cool. What does it do again? It heals me, I think. Water dew droplet or some source dew droplet, something like that. I want to level up Lynette, or obviously I won't be able to. What she needs? It doesn't even let me see. What's her talent say? Flips her mantle, executes an Enigma thrust, dealing animal damage. When the Enigma thrust hits an opponent, it will restore Lynette's HP based on her max HP. Lynette wants max HP. Okay, I see. And in the 4 seconds afterwards, she will lose a certain amount of HP per second based on whether you press or hold this ability. She will use Enigma thrust differently. I think you can only tag like 2 or 3 opponents with Enigma thrust. Oh wait, she swiftly uses Enigma thrust. The net will enter high-speed proliferating shadow state and apply shadow sign to a nearby opponent. You can control her movement direction during the state, and you can end it prematurely by using the skill again. When this high-speed state ends, Lynette will unleash her Enigma thrust. If there's an opponent with the shadow sign applied to them nearby, Lynette will approach them in a flash before using Enigma thrust. Wait, so it can only maximum of 1 opponent can have the shadow sign at one time. When this opponent gets too far from the net, the shadow sign will be cancelled. Okay, I guess. And it heals her, right? Yeah, it heals her based on her max HP. So Enigma thrust damage starts at 268. Dang, that's a lot. Surging blade damage 31%. Surging blade interval. HP regeneration 25% max HP. HP cost 6% current HP. So she just heals herself. Now raises her mantle high, dealing a generous skillful sleight of hand, make a giant boggle cat box appear. Taunts enemies, deals animal damage. When the boggle cat box comes into contact with hydro, pyro, cryo, electro, it'll gain the corresponding element, and additionally fire vivid shots will deal damage to element intervals. And elemental absorption of this kind can only occur once during this ability's duration. Yeah, okay. Sophisticated synergy. Within 10 seconds of using magic trick astonishing. That's the burst. When there are 1, 2, 3 elemental types in the party, all party members' attacks will be 8, 12, 16, 20 respectively. All party members' attacks will be increased. So she buffs attack just in her passive. Interesting. But that's only after using her burst. Within 10 seconds of using the burst, when there are 1, 2, 3, or 4 elemental types in the party. So she wants an all-elemental team. And she has to use her burst. So she buffs with just using her burst. That's nice. After Bogglecat Box summoned by Magic Trick, Astonishing Shift performs elemental conversion. The next elemental burst will deal 15% more damage. It's available for resistant double. Okay, so one kit that helps the whole team is this, I guess. This would be good for, what's his name? Wanderer. Wanderer Light's attack. 20%, and that's not even base attack, that's their full attack. Just increased by that much. Okay, what's her constellations? Hits an opponent with shadow sign, 4 sets will be created at the opponent's position that will pull in nearby opponents. Endless mysteries, whenever Bogglecat bot summoned by magic, yeah, fires a vivid shot, it will fire an extra vivid shot, yeah. Wait, what? Increases the level of magic trick by 3. Increases enigmatic feints charges by 1. What is enigmatic feints? Oh, she gets an extra charge on her skill to run like Yelan. Nice. Increases, yeah, when Lynette uses enigmatic feints, thrust, she will gain a Nemo infusion and 20% of Nemo damage bonus for 6 seconds. Enigma thrust. So 20% extra animal damage bonus for her. Yeah, that's fine. I guess. She's so cool. Yeah, she's cool. I can't see what her stuff uses until I do this. Wait, what the? I have enough to level. Let's go.
My
And she
perception
levels
has
up
been
on
heightened.
animal damage bonus. She might be a good DPS, not gonna lie. She's drinking tea, let's go. Best character already. Her and Hu Tao, the only tea lovers in Genshin. W. She's awesome. Anyway, Icewind Suit. Oh, it's those guys. Okay. Sweet. Gotta get to phase 2 rare. Yeah, rip. Well, we're not leveling her. I don't think anyone's leveling her yet. Anyway, I gotta do Oh, come on.
Take it easy.
I always hate going for this thing.
I see everything.
Oh no, please get on. No. Elon, don't fail me again. Anyway. No, Elon, get up. Thank you. W.
Happy to oblige.
Everyone hold hands.
How heartless. How
That's close enough.
Water jet.
Long the jungle.
I see everything.
Quietly now.
Only time to pick that up.
Water jet.
How am I doing 6,000 though?
Everyone hold hands! Stand with me! Bombs away!
Maybe this kit is crazy. I'm not even gonna lie, this kit might be crazy. Level 1 talent 6,000. Starters. Turret surge damage is 189%. But I gotta change her thing. % of the total HP of Vigil. Interesting. Did I just run past where I was supposed to?
Add Astra. Thank you for Add Astra.
Alright, that will be the end of this stream, I think. I don't know if I want to pull. Nah, not yet. I could do this one. Alright, that's gonna be the end of the stream.